Okay.
It's the remix.
It's the remix. Yay. Welcome to the Revolutionary Blackout Network, RBN. We are here for the Roundtable. I'd like to give a warm welcome to all of you to remind you that the Roundtable streams every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please make sure to click that thumbs up. And if you are new, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, because the algorithm doesn't like us, especially since we're going to be talking about imperialism. That's right, imperialism.
Well, and not your bread tube version, not your bread tube CIA approved version, NATO approved talking points, Neo-Nazi approved talking points. We're not getting that here.
This ain't TYT, motherfuckers. Sorry. So, as people can guess from the new title that we put up, there are a lot that's going on. A lot of people, you guys are, probably, caught up on what's going on. It's good to see everybody here in the chat. There's a lot of news to get to. So I just want to say a blanket hello, everybody. Sabby, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. A little busy, a little chaotic this week, but I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, you do have a busy week coming up, and it's going to be fire. And Nick, my brother, how are you doing?
Sabby was on Jimmy's channel last night. it was hype. It was hype. So hopefully the Women's Summit it should be dope. It should be dope. So I want to make sure you guys tune into that. And it should, I got someone to say, so I want to pass it back to JB because
look, man, I know that a lot of people are talking about the geopolitical issues that are talking about around the world, and they're focused on a country that starts with a U. But a lot of people aren't talking about a country that starts with an S that's going through some geopolitical issues too. And that country's name is Somalia. Right now, let me share my screen really quick, because I just want to show you guys what the news is right now. This is from the Associated Press. And actually, let me enlarge this just a little bit so that everybody can see. This is from the Associated Press. It says, U.S. airstrike in Somalia is second week against al-Shabaab. This is talking about for the second time this week, U.S. forces on Friday conducted an airstrike against al-Shabaab extremist group in Somalia. The earlier strike on Tuesday, so this is the second one, was the first in Somalia since President Joe Biden took office in January. No, that's not the right one. What the hell am I doing? That happened. This is the one from 6 months ago.
Here's one. This is the one. This came out in New York Times. I'm blocked out of it though.
No,
there's that's the one you want to click. That one right there.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah. Coordination with the federal government, Somalia, U.S. AFRICOM conducted an airstrike against al-Shabaab terrorists after they attacked partner forces in a remote location near the Bubble, Somalia, which was 2 days ago. U.S. forces authorized to conduct strikes in support of combatant commander-designated partner forces under the 2001 authorization of use of military force. So basically, it's like we're looking for to see if there was any innocent lives that were lost. Most likely there were. They're just not telling us. And actually, AFRICOM actually put out a press release actually talking about what they did. And this is from AFRICOM that was dated yesterday about what happened. This is by Lieutenant Commander Timothy Pytrak. And so they bombed Somalia yesterday. And I'm
looking into details of this. and I'm already shaking my head because we already seen the thing where they use the term insurgents, but now I'm seeing reporting that saying, "Yo, these are innocent civilians, women and children," and now they're just saying, "Oh, they're terrorists, they're insurgents." So I'm looking at it now, and I can try to give you guys some receipts and other reporting, but it seems like these are civilians that was targeted. Maybe some nefarious actors, but once again, our anti-imperialist point of view tells that we have no right to be murdering people, because if you believe that countries have the right to just murder people, then I'm waiting for the drone strike on Dick Cheney. Like, someone get Kissinger. Someone get these people. Like, if that's allowed, if you think someone's bad and you think another country can assassinate them, George W. Bush Jr., get him. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, I promise you, the people that they justify killing are not bad at, like, the insane war criminals that we have in our country. Sabby, do you want to jump in?
It's just, this is why, first of all, where is Ilhan Omar in all of this? I'm curious because I feel like, I think it was last year when the US had airstrikes on Somalia, and Ilhan Omar wrote this letter to Joe Biden, but I'm like, no, like, enough with the letters. Like, we need you to speak out and, like, really stand up against, that's your home country. So where is Ilhan Omar in all of this? And number two, when it comes to the civilians, this is the thing that I always say about war. People like to make it seem like we're just going over there to fight the bad guys, right? It's always about the bad guys. And by the way, the US is never considered the bad guys. If you listen to mainstream media here in the United States, it's always the other country. But they don't mention the number of civilians that lose their lives in these conflicts. And the numbers are larger than you realize. And this is one of the reasons why they went after people like Julian Assange, because he revealed that information. He had video footage of civilians, innocent children. So the casualty from war is greater than I think a lot of Americans realize, because sometimes even on mainstream media, they don't report the accurate numbers of civilians that are killed during these conflicts. So it's just, I would ask everyone in this country to imagine it was us. Pretend we were the ones who were constantly under attack, and we were the ones that were losing civilian lives. And I think people don't think about it that way. So it's just, think back to how you felt like during 9/11. So you have to try to put yourself in their shoes. Like, if we had to live like this all the time, being afraid to walk outside because you don't know if you're going to get bombed, you don't know if someone's going to, like, throw a grenade at you or shoot you or kill you, and you're not even the one that's fighting. I want Americans to think of it like that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. And people, I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Nick?
Only thing I want to add to what Sabby said, there's a ton of on the ground Somali activists who supported Ilhan Omar, who was pissed off because Ilhan Omar took the side of the Biden regime in Somalia, and now they feel betrayed. I know a lot of these people personally on Twitter, they're mutual, so this is me more reporting as a citizen journalist. So I know some of these people that said we're done, and then there've been a lot of wide support. Well, if Ilhan wins, it probably because she will build a liberal constituency, because a lot of the old grassroots following that supported her is done. Also, a large amount of Palestinians feel betrayed by Ilhan Omar. Once again, this is me reporting as citizen journalists, and a lot of these progressives that we've seen with a lot of people trying to hold summits about taking over the Democratic Party. A lot of people don't have the same energy that they used to. And we can give you guys real examples on why that is. And when you see these people who back Ilhan Omar, they thought she's going to be an anti-imperialist voice for Somalia. You can't get mad at those people, because this is a legit grievance. Like, they feel legitimately betrayed. And I always put it like this: like, your comrade Rashida Tlaib is Palestinian, so like you're even throwing your own comrades' community under the bus. But what you pulled up here, JB?
This is
Somalia. But go ahead, JB. I'll let you present.
But this is in 2017. This was put out in 2017. says U.S. airstrikes soar in Somalia. U.S. AFRICOM basically has released data on 18 strikes in 2017, more than 4 times the annual average in the previous 7 years. So Somalia has been getting hammered by the United States.
Hey James, though, it's okay. It's not white people though. Like you notice, people they only panic about World War III when it's white people are bombing other white people. But when it's Biden starving the Afghanistan citizens, when it's Israel bulldozing Palestinian homes, when it's the United States helping bomb in Somalia, sanctioning Yemen, there's no alarms. And you guys think we don't notice this stuff? No, like there's an amount of hysteria that I see right now that I actually think is good. Like when you see the people that are freaking out about the Ukraine crisis, that's good. The only question I have is where's that energy on this? Where's the energy when you have 20 million Afghan citizens that are about to be starved because Biden is stealing their money? So it's funny when it's only World War III when it's white on white crime and turn on the international stage, because this is nothing new to me. This is nothing new for me when I see what Putin is doing in Ukraine. This is nothing new, but they don't care. They only care when what's going on, and which I think it's a good thing. But there's no outrage about this.
People don't care about brown people far away. Haiti is another good example.
Yeah.
With all of the catastrophes that Haiti has been through, where's that same like empathy?
Yeah, that's actually true. It's always and it's always that, like, don't get me wrong, what's going on in Ukraine is bad, but the thing is that it feels like it's being used as a shield to cover up what's going on in other brown countries too. It's just like, well, no, let's condemn all of it. But and what about what happened in Kashmir under Modi? Nobody's really bringing that up either, because a lot of people who are Muslim are being basically, fought up against by Hindu nationalists. Like, why aren't we talking about that as much? But it seems like it's only, with certain groups that the United States wants to have a focus on.
Well said, and of course, there's a reason why we have to continue to call out the hypocrisy that you see that is used to justify our giant military budgets. That's what this is all about. This is what this is all about. Think about this: in the middle of a pandemic, and this is what Bernie was saying about Putin, which you can, like, he's saying, Bernie, like, in the middle of a pandemic, you got Putin that is starting a war. Even though this war has been going, how do you start a war that has been going on for 7 to 8 years? Someone tell me that. You can criticize his military strategy because he's trying to stop out the Nazis in Ukraine to stop the violence. Now you can criticize that all you want, but to say he's starting the war is just factually untrue. And you can criticize Putin while being factually accurate. There are people who feel like, oh, I have to criticize Putin, and then they just getting the story wrong. Like the United States started the war when we backed the coup from democratically elected leader in 2014, and there's been a war ever since. Putin had enough because they broke the Minsk agreement, and NATO continued to expand their influence east. They wasn't supposed to expand east of Germany, and they continued to expand. You had Nazis that continued to launch attacks in eastern Ukraine. So you can criticize Putin for his strategy, but his mindset is like, bro, I had enough. And that's because Donald Trump purposely escalated by arming the Nazi neo-Ukraine rebels, by continuing to escalate tensions and rhetoric against Russia. Don't get it twisted, guys. There are a lot of people in the corporate media, and there are a lot of people in the Biden administration that are pretending to be sad, but this is exactly what the neoliberal establishment wanted. They got their hot, new Cold War that may warp to World War III, but right now we're in a hot Cold War right now. But this is what they always wanted. Because now they got the justification for increasing the military budgets. They just did it again, right?
But most people aren't even mentioning that this has been going on for 8 years. That's the thing. I've noticed that a lot of the coverage I've watched, people aren't even mentioning that.
Yeah, it lies about omission, and I don't think it's done by accident anymore. I really don't, because they did the same thing to manufacture consent for WMBs and pretty much any war. It just lies by omission. Like, and no one is saying, and they will strawman the anti-imperialist leftist position. Well, they say, "Oh, you guys just want to defend Putin. You guys just hate America so much that you willing to be imperialist." Like, no, it's about being factually correct about the story. The United States and NATO forced their hand. But go ahead, JB.
Yeah. This was a tip from Rockfin from Jean Zyback. Thank you so much for the tip. She says, I agree. U.S. involvement in the is the main terrorist of the world by far. All you have to do is look at our military budget over any social programs for the people. Thank you so much, Jean.
Rockfin shows up in StreamYard now?
No, I did that.
That's crazy.
Copy and paste, Stabs. Copy and paste.
So I'm learning. I'll talk to Caleb a lot. Caleb Moffman also is really good on the issue, but the Rising is particularly bad. I'm not gonna do a segment. I gotta get some clips ready. Jackson, I think Jackson did one. I'm glad he did one because now that Jackson, like, he just released one. Now that Jackson did a response to the he literally did a response to the same clip I was about to respond to. So, and Crystal is just standing there while Saagar is saying insane neocon talking points. And once again, if you agree with Saagar's points, ask yourself this question: why did Saagar bring up none of the history of the conflict?
Right.
Like, once again, the whole segment was lies by omission, and Crystal Ball was like,
"Yep." It was honestly, it was like, I'm talking about this tomorrow night, but it was like, I felt like I was just watching MSNBC, mainstream media talking points.
So I wouldn't say I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get better at this stuff, especially now I'm a commentator. But the reason why I seem good is because people like Ball and Saagar are especially bad. Like, they're unbelievably bad on this and the issue of China. But I'm glad you're doing a stream on it tomorrow, because I was trying to figure out where I'm gonna fit it in. But I know Jackson did a response video to it. Now you're talking about it as well, so I think I'm good. But do not watch The Rising on foreign policy. I admit that, like, Crystal may do good, like, labor coverage every once in a while, but on foreign policy, don't.
Yeah.
Don't. I want to be fair, but don't on foreign policy. Like, Saagar and Jackson actually exposed this. He literally a plant from the weapon defense contractors, right? He take money from that industry. I don't know the story as well as Jackson does. He exposed them on that. But yeah, he come from money from the weapon defense contractors. So why do you guys think he want to stoke this new Cold War with China? During the segment when he was talking about Ukraine, he was like, this is a bad thing because now we're going to lose our focus against China, something that we should be focused on. What? Why would anyone hear some dude say we should focus on the Cold War on China, which is nowhere near the left position? Meanwhile, Crystal Ball just nodding there along.
Yep.
Like, if you're a left, you should be cutting his head off for saying that. But go ahead, Savvy.
Not pushing back on him at all. Like, that was one of the things I've noticed. And it happened with China too, with their coverage on China. So it's just like, what is really going on? But you got to remember, like, Saagar is not on the left. So we just got to remember that, like, not everybody that watches the show comes to watch it to hear the left, like, talking points. Some people do come just to hear what Saagar has to say. But I feel like if you're on the panel with him, it's your responsibility as the opposition to push back. And if you don't push back, then it's like, what is the point of this?
So you were like watching the edgy version of MSNBC, but go ahead, James.
I just want to introduce Zoya. Zoya is love. Zoya is compassion. Zoya is honest. Zoya is amazing. Welcome. So good to see you here, and welcome to the roundtable.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to be here. Wish it was under better circumstances.
There's no one better to have talk about this as Zoya. What exactly your background? Didn't you come from the USSR? Isn't that?
Yes. Oh, that's
right. Explain that for the new viewers who don't know your background.
I'm from Odessa, which was USSR when I was growing up there, but now it's currently Ukraine, and it's a perfect example of a region that is dominated by Russians who actually don't want to be a part of Ukraine for the most part. So it's messy. It's very messy, but I really wish Americans had more humility when weighing in on geopolitical conflicts because they just are not informed. And mainstream media is corporate-owned mainstream media is not going to inform you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching the mainstream media coverage just out of curiosity because I feel like I just want to see how they're gonna cover it. And you guys already seen it. You already seen the same pressure they are putting. They're calling anyone who do not repeat the pro-NATO Biden administration talking point. They calling you a traitor. Like I'm like, bro, this is like when I was in middle school all over again. War on terror. We're going through it again. If you're not pro-NATO, if you're not pro the neoliberal capitalist establishment, which Lenin wrote, is like, this is what we're supposed to be resisting. Like this imperialism that we have now is the highest form of capitalism, right? Like this is what we're struggling through right now.
The other thing too, there were also like bad talking points earlier on when they were talking about who was it that said, oh, it was Vosh that said that. He said that, no, I don't think there was an agreement that NATO wouldn't expand. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, no, there was an agreement. Like, do we not remember what happened after the Berlin Wall fell? Like, it's just, I'm just like, you didn't even try to like do research on this.
I think he's trying to give, I think he's purposely misleading people at this point. Because think about, why was NATO created? NATO created as a check to USSR. Why is NATO still around? Capitalists know why it's there. They won't say the quiet part out loud. It's there to fight anti-communist. It's there as an anti-communist colonial power. So soon as the giant colonial powers like France, the UK, the United States started to lose their colonies, they were like, all right, NATO serves two purposes. We can keep the USSR in check, and then we can maintain our power structure over our former colonies. So if you're against colonialism, hello, you should be against NATO. So people are like, oh my God, you got to speak out against Putin. You got to take Biden's side if you're anti-imperialist. No, read Lenin. This is not what from a Marxist perspective, this is not imperialism. Like imperialism is the global economic order, which is NATO, which Putin is trying to resist. They lied about the Minsk agreement. This is what Vosh is lying to people about it. Should I play you guys the video again? It's probably the best video. I watched a lot of them. There have been a lot of great videos where he go over the fine print. And I watched a lot of corporate media coverage. No one talks about this. When there's some guy, I don't know his name, I'll find the clip. He was on CNN. He was like, yeah, we actually never told him that. We never told Putin in Russia that we won't expand eastern of Germany. But then in the transcript, he literally said that. No one tells people that. No one tells their audience that the CIA and military industrial plants that's on cable news, they are actively lying about like the people that was involved in the negotiations. They in NATO, they are lying. Like it's on transcript. And Putin was right when he gave that speech where everyone was melting down. He said the Minsk agreement was already violated. He was telling the truth.
Yeah, you can look up the transcripts yourself too, by the way.
Yeah.
And I put out a tweet earlier this morning, and for some reason I got some pushback for it.
We gotta stay strong, man. We gotta
I know. But let's go over what I said and let's dissect it and see if I said anything wrong. And by the way, spoiler alert, I don't think I did. But I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna read it in the way I meant it. I said, whenever U.S. intelligence and government officials tell you a state leader is a quote-unquote dictator or they're quote-unquote invading another country, etc., always assume that they are lying. Get facts from other resources outside of the United States, basically outside of the purview of the neoliberal, neoconservative establishment.
No lie detected. Every single person you see that going against JB there is shady.
Yeah,
that's base as fuck take. Base as fuck, JB.
And I said, follow the money. That's what I said. Follow the money. And so many people have came in and calling me an idiot for basically saying that I am wrong for this take, even though I literally lived through what happened in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, what's going on in Somalia right now, like all these conflicts. And typically when you find out about them, it's about the money. It's about the resources. It's about imperialism. It's never about us charging up on our white horse to come and save somebody. That's not what it's about. And the thing is that I say, be very skeptical of your government whenever they do stuff. And then people go, but Putin. I'm like, what has the United States been doing? What have they been doing in order to help this along? And the thing is that you're going to sit here and put all the blame on one person? Is Putin shitty? Yeah, he's shitty. But guess what? The United States has been doing a lot more shit than he has. And it's not a whataboutism. It's acknowledging that the United States has this culpability in what has been going on within that region. And the thing is that if you're not willing to say that, then what are you doing? You're basically making it that you're basically saying that you're for the imperialism. And don't come at me with, oh, well, we should do sanctions, because you're now up to, saying that, oh, we should harm the regular Russian citizens. Like, that's what's going to happen. And it's like, so what if you honestly are saying that my take on this is bullshit, then what is your solution?
But you know what, JB, that's a good point that you made. I want people to understand, all of us here, we lived through Iraq. We remember the lies that mainstream media told us about that war, about that BS war. And it wasn't until years later that they finally admitted that it was a mistake, that it was a lie.
Yeah.
So that's why we're skeptical. Because like, you wouldn't have believed the talking points. I don't know how young people are in the chat, but you wouldn't have believed the talking points that we heard back then.
Yeah, people are saying that people were attacking me and saying that what was it? People were calling me idiots. Hang on.
They're not going to challenge you on your points. That's how you know they just come down in droves because
I'm saddened by this take. I know you're smarter than this. U.S. is evil. It's like, what?
You, though. They're
not that is so condescending. This is what they always do. That is so capitalist American. Nick, I sent you a tweet that talks about China perspective on this. And then I have one from the Black Alliance for Peace, too.
Oh, great. See, Zoya, that's why I love having Zoya on. She always has some receipts.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share the first one, and I'll let you present it, Zoya. But James, what are you about to say?
Well, yeah, there was also a great article by Black Agenda Report that I also retweeted out that actually gave
let's go through it. Let's read it.
Yeah, because it was a great article by them that was actually talking about the actual history about what was going on, as well as what was, what the backstory is. This is from the Black Agenda Report. Hold on. Let me share my screen. And we're friends with people at the Black Agenda Report. They put out really good information. It said what you should really know about Ukraine. This is by Bryce Green from the Black Agenda Report. This actually came out yesterday. He says tensions began to rise over Ukraine. U.S. media produced a stream of articles attempting to explain the situation with the headlines like Ukraine explain, what you need to know about tensions between Ukraine and Russia. Sidebars would have notes that try to provide context for the current headlines, but to truly understand the crisis, you need to know much more about what these articles offer. So it's basically debunking what the New York Times and the Washington Post said. It's like, it's more nuanced than this. And a lot of times they just basically make it one side is good and one side's bad. And like, for instance, the U.S. helped overthrow Ukraine's elected president. See, they're not talking about that. It talks about as political turmoil engulfed the country in the lead up to 2014, the United States was fueling anti-government sentiment through mechanisms like USAID and the National Endowment for Democracy, just as they had done in 2004. In December 2013, Nuland Assistant Secretary for European Affairs had a long regime change advocate said that the United States government has spent $5 billion promoting, quote unquote democracy in Ukraine since 1991. The money went towards supporting senior officials in the Ukraine government, members of these businesses and community, as well as opposition, civil society who agree with the United States goals. And a lot of times people don't talk about how in Ukraine that the Azov battalion is actually a Nazi battalion. In fact, it says one of the many recipients of NED money for projects of Ukraine was the International Republican Institute, the IRI, which chaired by Senator John McCain, has long had hands in U.S. regime change operations. During the protests that eventually brought down the government, McCain and other U.S. officials personally flew to Ukraine to encourage protesters. And so it talks about how the United States was caught picking the new government. And it talks about how it was actually that the United States was meddling in Ukraine affairs. And it also brings out that the United States is actually arming Nazis in Ukraine. And so because of that, actually, here it is right here. The Washington-backed opposition toppled the government was fueled by far-right and openly Nazi elements like the right sector. One far-right group that grew out of the protests was the Azov Battalion, a paramilitary militia of neo-Nazi extremists. Their leaders made up of the vanguard of the anti-Yukonovich protest and even spoke at opposition events in the Maidan alongside U.S. regime change advocates like McCain and Newland. So McCain was up there with neo-Nazis protesting their government. So what does that tell you? So there's a lot more, damn it. There's a lot more to what's going on than what people are making it out to be.
I would recommend, like, if you're trying to look up information about foreign policy, to definitely follow Black Agenda Report, follow Danny Haifong, Margaret Kimberly. Like, they do really great work, and they've actually been on the ground in some of these places. Also, make sure that you follow Fiorella, Pasta, Convo Couch, Nico, all of them. They go on the ground. Like, they were in Nicaragua, they were in Peru for the elections. Those are the people, I think, when it comes to foreign policy, those are like my top recommendations. And then, of course, Nick, who's a part of RBN. But definitely, like, listen to them, you guys, because they really do an in-depth analysis of it, and they've been there in person. So I think that makes a big difference. Same thing with Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal. It's different when you're on site and you actually see what's happening.
Yeah.
So I want to show this. I want to play this video again. I shared this last night, but I want to share it for new viewers, and I want to get your guys' reaction for this as well. Representative Press. I think they released a video not too long ago, but hopefully they get active again as this crisis continue. I think this is a good starting point. But I'm gonna share his reporting. I'm gonna play maybe about 2-3 minutes to show you guys what is not being shared. Like when you see the segment that Breaking Points do on this crisis. When you watch this video, think about that segment, think about Vosh's segment, think about Kyle's segment, and realize what they are not telling you. So I'm gonna play like about 2-3 minutes here. 1 second here.
Is given to Russia against NATO expansion. U.S. declassified documents, which I'll show you in this video, prove that it's President Putin who is telling the truth.
How would the Americans react if we placed our missiles on the border between Canada and the United States or on the Mexican border? Not a single inch to the east, they told us in the 90s. And what do you know? They cheated. They just deceived us blatantly. 5 ways of NATO expansion. And there you go. Now in Romania and Poland, weapon systems appear.
Joining me now for more on this is CNN Global Affairs analyst Susan Glasser. It's good to see you, Susan. So Putin claiming...
Not a single inch to the east, they told us in the 90s.
The statement that he's quoted in his news conference is saying is one that is a false claim he's made many times before. Right. The implication being that the U.S. said it would not ever move 1 inch to the east. That's not an accurate statement of any commitment the U.S. made.
Her statement is inaccurate. She's pushing a false claim, and her husband, Peter Baker, is lying. I say they're lying because it's hard to believe that they don't know what they're saying isn't true, because together they wrote a book about James Baker, and in their book, on page 380, they quote Baker telling Gorbachev there would be no extension of NATO's jurisdiction for forces of NATO 1 inch to the east. James Baker admitted it was something he said. Susan Glasser is lying on CNN, and Peter Baker is lying on Twitter with his New York Times article, which has a dishonest headline. Yet that article shows that Baker admits that guaranteeing not to extend NATO an inch to the east was something he said. One of the ways American pundits and politicians deny that the U.S. gave Russia guarantees is by falsely claiming that those guarantees applied only to East Germany and not to anywhere else in Eastern Europe. For example, this opinion piece published in the International Herald Tribune and the New York Times uses this tactic. It denies that the Soviets were assured that NATO would not extend beyond East Germany and claims that there is no evidence that at the time anyone was even thinking or talking about the possibility of NATO expansion even further into East Central Europe. But these denials and claims are proven false by declassified U.S. State Department secret papers and transcripts. Hans-Dietrich Genscher, the foreign minister of West Germany, reiterated the need to assure the Soviets that NATO would not extend its territorial coverage to the area of EDR, that's East Germany, nor anywhere else in Eastern Europe for that matter. He made this point with the press after the meeting.
Nick, can you put that link in the private chat?
Yeah, I'm about to link this video. So watch the entire thing. Like, that's a 10-minute video. I want to show you guys that part because you see, in that 2-minute clip, you see how many receipts he showed, right? Where are the receipts from TYT? Like, when I see people, when I saw Crystal and Siger do their segment today about this, they mentioned none of this. None of this is mentioned. So how can you call Putin the aggressor? You can criticize his action. You can say, as an anti-war activist, there may be other options he could have pursued. But the way that a lot of people are covering this, they lost their goddamn mind. And I am not shifting. That's why I said, JB, hold the line. And there are going to be people that come after us. There are going to be people that come after everyone that Sabby just mentioned. People are going to go after Zoya. People who get this correct, we're going to get attacked. Because they're going to say, oh, you're just a tanky. You just love Putin. Fuck Putin. Putin is an anti-communist, guys. I don't like Putin. But he has a fucking point on this.
Yeah, it's coming. So just be like prepared for it because I'm sorry, but I just want to remind everybody that message went out on CNN. That message went out on mainstream media. So YouTube, they want to remove like our videos and some of our friends as well saying misinformation. Mm-hmm. But CNN can spread misinformation 24 hours a day.
Yeah. And
everyone asked for the link. Yeah, share that video. Like I said, hope if the person who made that video sees this, you got open invite. You got open invite to talk about this. Everyone share that video because and he did another video. I'm gonna get you. I'll pass it right to you, JV. But he also did another great video about how we armed Nazis in Ukraine. He had like 2-3 of them. That's a great channel on this subject. And a lot of those videos are like years old. So it's not like he just jumped on the bandwagon. This guy had been on this issue for years, exposing the NATO talking points. But James, go ahead.
Can you put that link in the chat so I can share it on Rockfin?
Yeah, I just put it. I'll put it
in the private chat. Yeah. So I can grab it. Put it on Rockfin.
Yeah, I think I follow. I think we followed each other on Twitter. I think I found a video posted on Twitter randomly. Then I watched it. I was like, "Oh, this is a great video." Like, you're not gonna find that video on the algorithm. I remember I was trying to, and the fucked up thing is I was trying to find that video on my stream last night, and it's so hard to search for. Like, whenever you search for this kind of stuff, you only get like legacy media. Like, you get CNN, MSNBC. No, for real. Yeah. You can Google the same. You can Google his name, Representative Press, Nazis in Ukraine. They'll give you a CNN video. I'm like, no, I know. You see how they always push the legacy media? I was struggling with that last night on my stream.
But see, also, this is why it's important. I think, like, if you are going to talk about this topic, and let's say you don't have as much information on it, this is why I bring people on my show to discuss it. People who have that experience, people who have been there on the ground, people like Danny Haifong, people like Margaret Kimberly, like, bring those people on and have them discuss it. I didn't see, and I can go back and check, I didn't see any of those people who have this experience on Breaking Points. I didn't see them on Kyle's show. I didn't see them on Bosch's show. Why aren't they bringing people on who are actually experts on this information? So for me, I just feel like, honestly, that type of the behavior they have where they're spreading that type of information, I feel like it's done on purpose.
Yes. Yeah. They don't have opposing voices on, and the fact that they don't is how you know they're propagandists. Like, if they was actually curious about the information, they will have opposing viewpoints. They'll even have maybe one viewpoint they agree with and another opposing viewpoint. But the fact that they don't do this shows that they're not serious. They never even they are here to spread propaganda. And it's the same regarding any like grassroots movement. I remember like when Force the Vote was going on, like no one, we wouldn't even have the trial. Like people didn't even want to talk about. Like people didn't even want to talk about a general strike. People didn't even want to, like when you see that, you know they're being a propagandist.
Yeah.
Zoya, do you have anything you want to add? I want to get Zoya here. Zoya, how
I
you
wanted
doing?
to discuss that China article. I have a ton to add.
Oh yeah. So it's Zoya's turn. Zoya, drop some knowledge on this. I got a few more things to share too, but I'll let Zoya go first. So let me. Oh yeah, the China thing. Let's do that. So I'll let you introduce. I'm gonna share the screen. You can introduce the story. Zoya.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for it to pop up.
Oh, there it is.
So we can just go straight to number one. And I think the way it's phrased is perfectly, so we can just read it. When the U.S. drove 5 waves of NATO expansion eastward all the way to Russia's doorstep and deployed advanced offensive strategic... Scroll down.
Yeah. So this is just so you guys know, this is the China's foreign ministry. They are actually criticizing what we've been doing on the channel for days now, right? If you want to criticize Putin, you can do that. It's not my prerogative, right? But the U.S. NATO role is something that you have to bring up. If you're not, you're a propagandist. But let's go down, and I think that's where you left off, right?
Yeah. So deployed advanced offensive strategic weapons in breach of its assurances to Russia. Did it ever think about the consequences of pushing a big country to the wall? Did the U.S. respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia when U.S.-led NATO bombed Belgrade? Did the U.S.
based as China right now?
Go ahead, let me make more points. Did the U.S. respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Iraq when it launched military strikes on Baghdad on unwarranted charges? Did the U.S. respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Afghanistan when U.S. drones wantonly killed innocent people in Kabul and other places? Did the U.S. respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of other countries when they instigated color revolutions and meddled in their internal affairs all around the world? It is hoped that the U.S. takes these questions seriously and abandon double standards.
I love they had to throw that shade in there just so they can sound diplomatic, because we know they're fucking not. God damn, this is base as hell from China. And then you want to read the last one, Zoya? Well,
that's just from the...
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah,
and then I sent you another link from the Black Alliance, and I think it's just very powerful. I don't necessarily agree with their conclusion, but they break down everything.
That's okay. We can get another viewpoint then. That's okay. Let's go. Let's see what they had to say about this crisis here. So
at least they're being honest about what our struggle as the proletariat for liberation is. A Black perspective on it, or leftist perspective on it, and it's definitely anti-imperialist.
Oh, let's go through it then. If JB, Sabi, if you guys have any thoughts, feel free to interrupt me because I can't really see the screens. I'm gonna try and go through this much as we can. Within large sectors of the U.S. left, including many elements of the Black left, there's widespread confusion related to the Ukraine crisis. Yeah, there is a lot of confusion. See, they are already on the right track. Years of anti-Russia propaganda from the U.S. and its NATO allies, and the tendency to abstract the current Ukrainian situation from from its historical and geostrategic context. That's exactly what they've been doing. This is what me and Sabby was mentioning, the live ball mentioned. When people talk about this conflict, history has no relevance. Everything that just happened last week is the only thing we should talk about, right? That's what they're talking about here, right? This climate has played into the hands of state propagandists and the Democratic Party activists eager to use the Ukraine situation to deflect attention from Biden's disastrous domestic agenda. So we're gonna get back to this article because this article is good. But this is a good way. This is a great segue into sharing something I'm about to share because this is why we must resist this. Let me. Damn, I had to share it because when I had my stream yesterday, this is why I was resisting all the pro NATO, all the Biden administration talking points. They want us to. Let me find this goddamn. What the hell? Here it is. So this is from the press conference. I lost the link earlier, but I found it. This is the message that comes from the Biden administration. They want Americans to sacrifice our economic well-being to justify sanctioning a country that is not responsible for like killing our community like the police is doing. They're not responsible for kids in cages. They're not responsible for the fact that we don't have health care. They're not responsible for the homeless crisis. You guys see how they're trying to get your eye off the ball. And now they're trying to tell the working class to sacrifice. Let me fix my audio and then let's listen to what Jen. Like, this is the craziest shit you can hear.
Can't hear anything.
Oh, my bad. Let me fix the audio.
Yeah.
My bad. Thanks for letting me know, JB. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was about to dub it. War is good. We want you to die for our profits.
And following up on Leach's question, a lot of focus on the economic pain in Russia potentially from these sanctions. But what about the economic pain here? The Russians are saying they think gas prices in Europe are going to double. How high could they get here?
Well, I think, again, Peter, and as I said to Leisha, I mean, some of this depends on what President Putin does. So as he's suggesting what the impact will be around the world, it's all based on what his actions are, just to be very clear about it. What the president is focused on and is working on is taking every step we can to communicate with, coordinate with, engage with big global suppliers around the world to minimize the impact on the energy markets.
But even without all this going on, gas in California is almost $5 a gallon. Should people across the country expect to see that kind of a number when they go to gas up their car? $5, $6?
Well, again, I think as you heard the president say last week, standing up for our values is not without cost.
Standing up for our values is not without cost. So this is the dominant, don't get it twisted, this is the dominant worldview of the neoliberal establishment. While in the middle of a pandemic, while people are going homeless, while we don't have health care, they will expand the military budget because that's our values. We got to represent global neoliberal dominance, even at the expense of our people. Do you guys have any thoughts before I continue? I'm gonna go back to the article, but do you guys have any thoughts before we continue?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zoya.
Sorry, just one comment. I don't know if you guys brought this up, but Ukraine and America are the only two countries to vote against the Russian resolution on combating the glorification of Nazism and neo-Nazism at the UN. The EU and Canada were among the abstentions. This was December 16, 2021.
Some people on Twitter getting mad at me because I'm calling them out like, bro, you're taking the pro-Nazi position. And people are like, you can't say that. Why not? This is true. You guys arming Nazis. And by the way, if you don't think NATO's pro-Nazis, ask yourself where all those Nazis went after World War II. Where do you think they went? NATO absorbed them. You guys not ready for that. But go ahead, Sabby.
When this was first announced, I think it was about a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. Nico came on and Nico reached out and he said, there's something I want to say about the situation that I feel people aren't saying. And I was like, okay, cool. And so Nico came on and Nico just blurted it out. He was like, the United States government is funding Nazis. And it was like, he was right. Like nobody was really mentioning that. Like that was supposed to be a hush thing. But I just want to let people know things are like, if you think prices are high now, it's about to get bad if this is not like resolved, because I'm telling you right now, gas prices are already high. If it gets to that point, I just won't be driving. I'm serious. We're going to be affected too.
And they asking us to sacrifice for the NATO establishment. But this is a funny meme. I love my community, right? Never ask a woman her age. Never ask a man his salary. Never ask NATO where the Nazi war criminals went after World War II.
It's funny because it's true.
So dark. I hate when the bad guys get away, don't you? Yeah, they all got away, unfortunately. They all got away. The ones who didn't get absorbed into NATO, they in Argentina. Man,
Bayer, Audi, BMW, Puma, Chase Bank, Deutsche Bank, the list goes on, all participated on the Nazi side. The Rockefeller, Standard Oil, now ExxonMobil, was selling oil to the Nazis.
Let's pull up Operation Paperclip.
Yeah,
that's here it is. Let's talk about shit that no one else is gonna talk about, right? They're not gonna do it. Here, go ahead, JB. I think you want to say something, right?
Well, here it is. The U.S. and Ukraine, only 2 countries vote against a UN resolution condemning Nazism, meaning the rest of the world condemned Nazism, but only Ukraine and the United States were like, oh, no, we're not going to go that far. I think we're okay with Nazis. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And, earlier today, U.S. forces bombed Somalia and U.S.-backed Israeli forces bombed Syria, but I'm not seeing any of that being reported on U.S. media.
Yeah. You guys want to have a learning moment here?
Mm-hmm.
I can always learn more too. The secret operation to bring Nazi scientists to America. If you guys think you guys think me and Nico are being over dramatic when we said we were fighting against the pro-Nazi establishment, the white supremacist establishment that is capitalism. Like we're in late stage capitalism right now. This is exactly what it produces. So I'll read. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'll probably read like the first paragraph or two because they usually sum up then. In the fall of 1944, the United States and its allies launched a secret mission codenamed Operation Paperclip. The aim was to find and preserve German weapons, including biological and chemical agents, but American scientific intelligence officers quickly realized the weapons themselves were not enough. They decided the United States needed to bring the Nazi scientists themselves to the U.S. Thus began the mission to recruit top Nazi doctors, physicists, and chemists, including Werner von Braun. And I know a little bit about this guy, but isn't this dude like a torturer? Like in his experiments? I don't know. I need to read more about it. But this dude, one of the most evil motherfuckers. I gotta read more about it to be honest. But I heard nothing but bad things about this guy. I don't know. I gotta learn more about him. But the United States went to great lengths to hide the past of scientists they brought to America. Based on the newly discovered documents, writer Annie Jacobson tells the story of a mission. Anyway, I think you guys get the gist. Operation Paperclip is not even a conspiracy theorist. Like to call it that is beyond dishonest. It's super dishonest, right?
Yeah. Speaking of dishonest, I got a super chat to read. Thank you, Ashura. Shura said, Kyle said you guys, not by name, calling him pro-war.
What do you mean by that?
What does that mean?
Are you telling us that Kyle basically, without naming us, basically said that we said that he's pro-war?
Well, it might not have necessarily been us because a lot of people have been saying that.
Yeah, a lot of people have been getting that ass.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of people have been calling him pro-war.
Unless he says our name, then we have to respond, right? But
yeah.
He getting caught up by a lot of people. So
Sure said yes.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Like honestly, if I didn't hear our name, I don't,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but
It's whatever.
Look,
We've been
A
talking
lot of people
shit.
called him out on Twitter, man. Like Caleb Maupin called him out. Aaron Mate called him out. Like he got ratioed.
yeah.
So he the one started. He didn't want to call out Caleb, and then he didn't want to give him a platform. Like, bro, if you don't want to debate someone, keep their names out of your mouth. It's literally just that simple.
Yeah, but
It's just that simple.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not worth the Twitter beef anyway. But you know what? The lies that continuously go on, and here's the crazy part. You get a lot of people who sit there and hand-wring about what's going on, like right now, but at the same time, and then it's like, so what is your solution? And if their solution is sanctions or boots on the ground, and it's like, okay, let's look back in history. And we don't even have to go that far back. We can go back to the Afghanistan war, which just quote unquote ended. It didn't really end, but people want to think that. And so you'll look at all the people whose lives were lost because of the United States and, them trying to bring democracy over to those regions. The same thing, exact thing happened in places, like Iraq. Look at what's going on in the proxy war in Yemen. If we're going to condemn people for what they're doing, then why aren't we condemning Saudi Arabia for the atrocities that they're committing against the people of Yemen? And yet, what did our government do? They gave them weapons. In fact, Donald Trump, idiot in chief, decided to do it on camera in front of everybody. So yeah, the United and even one time, and look, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? What did Donald Trump say to Bill O'Reilly when Bill O'Reilly was trying to say something against Putin? And Bill O'Reilly was like, "Oh, Putin's a killer," and Donald Trump was like, "Well, there's a lot of killers. I mean, we're not so good ourselves."
And they were so
Donald
mad.
Trump said, and I was just like, "What?"
Based. That was a base take.
Yeah, and it's like, well, he was right on that. I mean, to be honest with you, I actually think that Donald Trump was being a little too kind, because really, the United States has been massacres along the world stage, especially when it comes to geopolitical politics and what they've been doing, across, various different regions, especially in the global South. So, and
you talking about history. I got something that I had to explain to you guys, because we unfortunately invoke Godwin's law, because obviously, I mean, we fight against Nazis right now. But do you guys know who the Nazis was inspired by? Since we talking about history, because we are a channel of education. So if you're one of the people that are freaking out and you have Putin derangement syndrome, and once again, I won't blame you, but you better not be a fucking American patriot. You better not be someone who likes his country. You better not be someone who voted for Joe Biden and doing it again in 2024. So how Nazis were inspired by Jim Crow. And by the way, this article just talks about Jim Crow, but they also was inspired by the genocide of the indigenous people here. I think this article just focuses on Jim Crow, but I want to make sure I highlight both of them, because they actually inspire, like, when you look at how the United States genocide the indigenous people, Nazi Germany was like, holy shit, let's do that to our problem, right? So I'm gonna just read the first two paragraphs. In 1935, Nazi Germany passed two radically discriminatory pieces of legislation: the Rights Citizenship Law and the Law for Protection of German Blood and German Honor. That's wild. Together, these were known as the Nuremberg Laws, that laid the legal groundwork for the persecution of Jewish people during the Holocaust in World War II. When the Nazis set out to legally disenfranchise and discriminate against Jewish citizens, they weren't just coming up with the ideas out thin air. Yeah, I love that, because people think that Nazis invented this shit. Like, people think Nazis invented genocide. They closely studied the laws of another country. So this is a great article. You guys, this is on history.com. I'll put a link in the comments. It's a great article. That's a learning opportunity, right? So the takeaway people should have for this is not just Putin bad, NATO bad, United States bad, imperialism is bad, colonialism is bad, genocide is bad. You would think that would be the takeaway, but it's not. Biden bombing Somalia as we speak.
Yeah.
I have something else to show you guys. I have some, since we're on this topic, I have some extreme irony for you guys. And this is why I can't help but call out contradictions. And I make some people uncomfortable. They were like, Nick, why can't you just call out Putin? Because no, I'm having a blast calling out the contradictions, by the way, right? I got one more link to get to pull up. But I'll share the first one first. Just to, because you see the title of the video. Like, Israel is also bombing Syria, right? So this is from a Human Rights Watch watcher. Earlier today, U.S. forces bombed Somalia, and U.S.-backed Israeli forces bombed Syria. But the U.S. media isn't going to report on either attack, and the vast majority of the U.S. public will have no idea that they ever happened because they're not subscribed to Revolutionary Blackout. I wish the tweet said that, because that's true. So I mentioned before earlier in the stream, people are losing their mind about this situation, which is a great sign. I hope people start to wake up. I doubt it, but people are screaming World War III. But NATO and the neoliberal military-industrial complex has been escalating from day one. Yeah, from day one. And now the person who's not part of the club, he escalates as well, which I'm not a fan of that. But now they freak out. Isn't that funny? I'll find it. Here's Barack Obama. This is his statement. Because now you got all these liberals, all these war criminals, the people who vote for Barack Obama, the people who vote for Joe Biden, the people who are friends with Bill Kristol. Rokana, by the way. Shout out to my man. War criminal. She's friends with them. But people think he's anti-imperialist. Now all these liberals now pretending that they're anti-imperialist. Now that they now draw the line in the sand. And as a leftist, if you're not calling these people out, what are you doing with your platform? Are you really going to take your time out of your day to repeat NATO propaganda that is used to increase the military-industrial complex instead of calling out the charlatans like I'm about to call out now? So look at the tweet by Barack Obama. Last night, Russia launched a brazen attack on the people of Ukraine in violation of international law and the basic principles of human decency. Here's my statement on what it means and what should happen next. The hilarity. Friend of the show, Sarah. The man who bombed Libya back to the Stone Age and left it riddled with slave markets now has something to say about international law and the basic principles of human decency. Welcome to 2020. Now you guys understand why I'm going crazy. Now you guys understand why I refuse to take any one iota of my time on this channel to repeat NATO propaganda instead of calling out these fucking hypocrites. Anyone else got anything else to share while I find this other link?
I was just going to say, why they always got to get Obama's opinion? Like, Obama's not president anymore. I'm so tired of it. He always has to give his 2 cents. I'm like, dude, you are done. Like, just stop. Just go away.
I mean, he could be like the peanut farmer president. I can't even remember his name right now. Carter. He could be like Jimmy Carter and just, go out and build houses and keep your mouth shut. Or he could be like Bill Clinton and just, I don't know, do whatever the hell he does. He looks like a fucking ghost. Or he can, be like George W. Bush and just go and paint somewhere, and just be silent. But at the same time, he just keeps running his mouth because it's as if he runs his mouth as if he's the president, de facto president of the United States.
Did you just say go paint somewhere?
Yes, he can go paint somewhere because that's what he does. He's trying to launder his image by being an autiste.
Hey, I got some more hypocrites to call out here very soon. But Zoya, do you got anything you want to add before you move on?
Speaking of hypocrites, I just dropped you a link. Former President George W. Bush condemns Russia attack.
Oh no! Oh no!
I spoke too soon. JB spoke too soon.
Oh, come on!
He's not painting now.
So when you got Obama and Bush on the same side, maybe you should reconsider.
I thought I had the most ridiculous one. But I think Zoya may beat me. We see. I see what you guys think of the next one. I'm calling someone out next, but I think Zoya may have me beat. Let's see what. Oh no! Let's see what he said.
Oh no! Gosh. Oh,
Former President George Bush condemns Russia attack. I think it's gonna be very hard to read. Russia attack on Ukraine constitute the gravest security crisis on the European continent since World War II. Not when you killed millions of Iraqis. Not that. Not when you had a torture program. Not that security threat. Those are brown people. This is so crazy. So I joined the international community in condemning Putin's unprovoked and unjustified invasion of Ukraine. Wait, George W. Bush said this. The American government and people must stand in solidarity. Stop. The nerve of you to use that word, bro. The nerve.
The American people must stand in solidarity with Ukraine and the Ukrainian people as they seek freedom and the right to choose their own future. Strategery.
So what are the Democrats doing? They're praising Bush now.
There's no way.
No.
Why? 18,000 likes. Are you serious?
But listen. They had already started moving in that direction when they were praising Liz Cheney.
Oh,
you guys see what's happening here? This is why I tell you it's really one party.
And here's something even better. I dropped you a tweet from Gritty that says.
All right, I'm gonna share mine. Now I'm sure you're next. We're the ping pong. So I'm gonna see. So I think that one beat mine. I was trying to say. So let's see which one. Let's see who had the biggest hypocrite. So George Bush and Barack Obama is definitely up there, right?
Hypocrite edition. Welcome to Revolutionary Blackout, baby.
So check this out. Israelis protest against Russian occupation.
What the heck?
So you guys realize Israelis are protesting against the Russian occupation of Ukraine while they are in occupied Palestine. Bro, and then George Galloway, beyond parody. It said Israel condemns Russian invasion as breach of world order. So I'm asking the chat, what do you guys think the biggest hypocrite? The Zionist colonists who are upset at Putin, or George W. Bush? I literally don't know. But man, I am about to turn into the Joker by the end of this month. Because of this story. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah. Wait, hold up. My reaction is the same thing as Malik. I am literally losing my shit.
I don't know
what in the hell is going. What?
Oh my God!
Savvy Zoya, please put some sense into this, please.
There's no sense. There's a lot of nonsense. That's why the next tweet I sent, Nick, dude, look at what.
All right. Sorry, I'm gonna show you next. So we just going back to
these point.
Oh, Gritty, this is my boy. Gritty, follow that man. He's an underrated ass Twitter account. Here, let me pull it up.
Wait till you see this.
Shout out to my man Gritty. Follow this man.
Gritty.
Follow this man. He's a great account. So let's see what he's saying. Zoe, let me know the order. Here, actually, I got it. So, this is their response to Barack Obama. No.
Oh,
you're the best president in American history.
No, it's to Biden. Look, it's replying to Post.
No, it's to Biden. Okay, it's bad either way.
What?
It's bad either way.
Is that a real account? That account says me.
So they got a few more. We are all ready to be released on the battlefield. No, you sign up, bro. All these people always talking shit. You're not signing up. I see all these war criminals. I see all these people, the Republicans. They getting it wrong too. I gotta do a segment on that. I don't have one prepared, but I may do a segment on that on Saturday. Republicans are like, this will never happen under Donald Trump. What is the implication? What? Are you gonna sign up? Are you gonna enlist? If you're gonna enlist, let your enlist shut up.
What? Wait.
Thank you, Daddy Biden.
What? Hold up. Go back. Go.
Zoya.
I'm getting hot. This is weird.
No, JB, we stand with Biden, okay?
This is weird. This is weird.
No, JB, if we have to get drafted for war, we will do it.
Nick, this is getting weird, Nick. No.
Say it. Near Tandon, I'm willing to sacrifice our kids for you guys to make money.
No, man. No.
We laughing, but that's what these people legitimately believe when you see the wave of enlistment in the military in times of crisis. Remember the wave of enlistment during 9/11? Like, yeah, fucking sacrifice my life.
Daddy? Savvy? Zoya? Daddy? Nick? Daddy?
I don't believe some of these accounts, man. I honestly think some of these people are like paid bots or something.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
Unless I see a profile picture and I see your address, I need to see a website. I need multiple forms of verification for me to give you benefit of doubt on Twitter now. Thank you for the $10. I love our community, man. So Israel is supporting Nazis.
Daddy?
Very weird how that works out, isn't it?
There's another super chat. Also, Gina, thank you for the super chat. The real clowns are people saying I'm doing whataboutism when I bring up American war crimes. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Oh my God. Are you kidding me right now? Daddy? What in the hell? Wait, we got another. Hold up. Thank you for the super chat, Franny. I need a therapist, bartender, bud tender right about now. Yes, amen, hallelujah. I need the same thing right now because you got people literally calling the president daddy.
Remember the insanity under Barack Obama? And now I remember I was watching the Boondocks the other day. It's been a long time since I've seen it. And then I remember they had a video. You remember the dick riding Obama segment they did? And I watched it now and I'm like, that they hit the nail on top of the head. Cause that's how people was with Obama. Like, so we can call those fake accounts, but I guarantee you that's the mentality of a lot of these brunch liberals. Like,
oh, remember when Chris Rock said that Obama was like our dad in the United States? Remember that BS? Yeah, it happened. And he was like, he's like our dad.
There's a lot of cringe I just buried in the deep, dark sides of my mind, like regarding the way people used to talk about Barack Obama.
Oh,
jeez, man!
Like, what in the heck? Like, people literally have lost their ever-loving mind. Like, and I know I'm kind of joking a little bit about the whole daddy comment, but the whole premise is people seem to have very short memories about a lot of the things that went down, especially with a lot of these politicians and how they push for war. Need I say more about the war in Iraq? Millions of Iraqi people have lost their lives. And yet you want to call this dude daddy because over something that he's been basically helping to escalate over the last 8 years? Like, what? People just want to forget. And it's almost like they want a God to revere. And I'm like, okay, but like, you guys really are going after the wrong people to revere in these days.
Yeah, Russiagate. Go ahead, Zoya.
I wanted to respond to the chat you just put up as far as people losing their critical thinking skills.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a teacher. This is a result of American education, colonialist education. The books that I'm teaching from still call Native Americans Indians. They say that the Indians wanted to be on the Spanish missions and all of this great, white supremacy that were gifts to them brought upon this continent. So this is by design, and Russian sentiment, anti-Russian sentiment has been fermenting in this country for a century because they were opposing communism. I mean, look at all the media and the movies. So people are primed for this. They have biases to already hate Russia. Just give them a reason. And corporate media is doing that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I want to explain the concept to you guys, because you know what else destroyed the critical thinking skills of many people. And I did a video yesterday about how Chris Hedges was right about Bernie Sanders. And I think this will start the downfall of Bernie too. Russiagate. Like, I think Russiagate was the downfall of Bernie Sanders, but if you're extremely frustrated, there are a lot of people who are so upset about the situation, they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know what to do with their energy. What I'm doing with my energy is having a nonstop assault against neoliberalism, NATO, and the neoliberal capitalist global order, because they are responsible for what is happening right now. And when I called out Russiagate, and I've been calling out Russiagate for a long time, because we always knew that it would lead United States and West leaders to have a hardline stance, which led to this in the first place. Because what led to this invasion in the first place was the United States and NATO backing up Russia to the wall. And this was because you had people like Trump fucking funding Ukrainian rebels. You had Biden's son sitting on the board of Ukrainian gas companies because they were rubbing elbows with the coup group.
Nick, I sent you a screenshot about that. It's not just Biden's son. Check out.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna share that. Yeah, I cannot wait to get into that. But the point I'm making before I share that is that you guys understand that Trump was forced to have a hardline position on Russia because of Russiagate, because he was trying to prove he wasn't a Putin puppet. So that's why he literally opposed the pipeline they're talking about in Germany now. So it never made sense to say that he was a Russian puppet when he was arming the Ukrainian rebels as well. Like, and then so anyway, let's find that link that Zoya. Yeah. But JB, what you about to say something?
Can I do a couple of super chats while you're doing that?
Yeah, go ahead.
First super chat is from Hue. Thank you so much. He says, "Thank you for the laugh out loud for the laughs. I'm battling some big damn despair. Sorry about that, man.
Yeah,
appreciate y'all.
People, I literally laugh. That's my coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be on Twitter, be having a blast. I'm like, Nick, how you laugh at all the tragedy? Like, bro, that's the only thing that keeps you sane.
You have to laugh to keep yourself from crying, man. Really.
It's the only thing that keeps you sane. Go ahead, JB.
And Malik, thank you very much for the super chat. I'm losing my mind today with progressives over this, so thank you for the laughs. Got called a Nazi enabler for pointing out that the U.S. funds Nazis.
Oh, what?
Malik, I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
You guys hear the talking points? You see what's happening?
Yeah. And Nick, I want to thank you for that point that you brought out, because I was about to ask you about that for a second, about how basically the whole Russiagate was basically ginning up for this very moment to manufacture our consent. Yeah. That's basically what it was, right?
100%.
Yeah, so if you're upset at everything that's happening right now, you should blame nobody except the United States and NATO for breaking the Minsk agreement. Period. You can get upset at the tactics that Putin is using, but anyone saying that Putin started this war, you are clowns. You need to read history. This war was started in 2014 by the United States.
Yeah.
There are arguments to be made that they escalated, and Putin been on the defensive ever since they broke the Minsk agreement, as I showed in the video earlier, in paper, in writing. We had the receipts. They said it was going to expand NATO, and they are continuing to expand NATO despite the fall of the USSR. And if you're on the left, you should be against NATO. NATO is an anti-communist organization that is meant to keep the colonial powers that they used to govern in check. If you're a leftist, why the hell are you backing up NATO that destroyed Libya?
Yep.
What side are you? What are you guys doing? I'm literally shocked, and that's why I tweeted. I just tweeted like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Yeah. Like, I literally don't understand. Like, why anyone on the left would try to take? Oh, I'm gonna try to be unbiased. I'm gonna speak out against Russian imperialism. No, you idiot! You are literally carrying water for NATO. And it's one thing if you want to take that principle, but you are incorrect on the facts. Because he's sending in people to stop the terrorist attacks by the Nazis. And they never bring that up. They never bring up the fact that the neo-Nazis was literally bombing and attacking people. That's why they send in the troops.
14,000 dead.
Recognize your independence. But go ahead, Zoya.
14,000 dead out of Ukrainian civilians, and most of them were pro-Russia.
They never mentioned that.
Yeah. Chase, thank you so much for the super chat. This shows the weakness of U.S. imperialism. Thank you for that.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Let's Chauncey. Here. This is my tweet, right? Because this is kind of summing up what I'm saying here. And I got one more quick story I want to do before you wrap up. Because I think we did a great segment on this. So this is my position. I didn't expect it to get this many likes myself because I'm like, people going after JB, people are gonna come after me. I don't know why. I haven't got a lot. I get like I've seen a few bots, but most of the big like blue check accounts, they mostly done with me. Like they block me. They don't even try. So I actually haven't got a ton. I don't like count bots. So I said if you're a leftist, you should be cheering for the dismantling of NATO. Yes, I say it with my chest. I am tired of people being afraid of speaking against their propaganda. I am tired of people being afraid of speaking against these Nazis enablers. Remember, the United States and Ukraine are the only people who voted against condemning Nazism. So my question is, what the hell is wrong with some of you? If you're on the left and you're one of the people, like, oh God, I'm only going to speak out, it's Putin's fault. So hopefully after almost 2 hours, so after almost 90 minutes, you guys see while the coverage that I saw on Breaking Point this morning was horrific. And I saw that segment and I was straight up horrified. Like horrified. But anyone else want to any last thoughts? I have one quick story I can run through.
Toss up that screenshot really quick. It's like seconds, but it just shows
another one. All right, let's do that one.
Some of your favorite politicians.
Bray, don't mess with me. Don't mess with me tonight.
Daddy's there.
Oh my God, Zoya, please. Zoya, please. No. Oh my.
What are the odds of 4 people having children? Oh, see, this is all the children that are working for the Ukrainian gas companies, and I did not know. And I did not know that Nancy Pelosi, Mitt Romney, and John Kerry. I almost forgot to do that. I was like, who the fuck is that guy getting Kerry? Dude, he lost to George W. Bush Jr., guys. If you guys think Hillary Clinton is embarrassing, like, how do you lose to George W. Bush? Sorry. Anyway.
Hey, 1 second. Doesn't John Kerry look like a diet Mitt Romney?
That boy John Kerry chin is impressive. It's like he can take a good punch. As a martial artist, I'm telling you, as a martial artist, this man can take a punch. Look at that chin.
Yeah,
that's impressive. That's impressive.
Damn, even Jay Leno ain't got nothing on him. God damn.
Hell nah. No wonder this motherfucker love war. No wonder. Let's see what else.
Too much chin.
All right, so there it is. So
Chinny chin.
I'm gonna do this last story because it's gonna be real quick. It's gonna be a real quick story. I want your guys' quick reaction to it. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll set it up. Okay. We're gonna wrap up in this is gonna be a 90-minute stream tonight. But I got one more quick story. But can someone take over real quick while I get ready?
Okay.
Can you toss up that Black Alliance for Peace article? I just wanted to get on some of its main points.
Yeah. Hey, Zoya, jump. We got finish that article. Let's finish that article. We gotta do another stream. I thought that article so good it's gonna take a long time to get through it. You want to do that?
Yeah, we can just go through the main points because they talk about how this all started.
Oh yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. So here, let me pull it up. I guess I'll say the other story for later. I guess. Let's pull this one up. I guess this is more relevant. So let's read this. Within large section
You already read that.
Yeah, I read that one. I'm trying to find where I left off. I left off right here, right? So, all right. So let's read these main points. These are important. So here are some points to frame on how we should engage this issue. Ukraine is a manufactured crisis. That is the standoff between the United States and NATO forces and the Russian Federation, with the Ukrainians, including the Ukrainians in the eastern portions of Ukraine, that the media refers to as pro-Russian separatists, did not evolve organically, but was the result of conscious decisions on the part of the Biden administration. Less than 2 months after taking office, there was indications that the Biden administration was signaling to the Ukrainian government that it would support efforts to reincorporate the eastern region, Donbass, by force. This is why we reject any obscurantists references to both sides or to blame position. That's exactly. They just debunked the whole both sides to blame position. To be clear, this is not a pro-Russia position, but an objective assessment of the dynamics of the situation. The U.S., EU, NATO axis of domination. We see NATO as a criminal military structure. Thank you. That's exactly what I've been saying on the show, right? Whose only purpose is providing military and material basis for maintenance and extension of U.S., EU, NATO axis domination, white power, as a structure of white colonial power. I don't have one of these people on, man. That's literally exactly what I was saying.
I'm telling you, this article just kills it.
Yeah, this article does kill. This is a great way to end the stream, actually. Let's see where I left off. NATO was essential in supporting colonial powers in Africa, including Portuguese in the military struggles to maintain their colonial holdings in Africa. And the Portuguese was particularly brutal in their imperialism, by the way. I need to read more about it, but anytime I hear about it, it's a straight up brutality. The Dutch was as well. I remember Dr. Cream Bates talk about like the Dutch was like the grandfathers of white supremacist imperialism, right?
Yep. Don't forget, Nick, we got to play the video.
Oh, okay. So, all right, I'm gonna make sure. So we're gonna dive into the rest of this. Number 3, I'm gonna just read the bold part, and then we're gonna wrap up with Sabi's video. Ukraine and the U.S. doctrine of full spectrum dominance. While the focus on Ukraine is the utmost importance, we must recognize the bipartisan commitment to U.S. national security of full spectrum dominance and its utilization of military-first strategy to achieve continued U.S. global dominance. So I'm gonna put the link of this article. Maybe we'll go through it sometime soon this week, Zoya, because it's a great article to go through. But Sabi, I'll pass it to you.
Before we do that, can I just do the super chat? They Live We Sleep says, thank you for today's show. Plus, all of you together are awesome. Jay doing Bush had me going. I needed this today. Been rough. Love to you all. Thank you for the super chat. I think that's it. I think Ashura said something she wanted me to get to. She said her comment before leaving. Ashura, where are you at?
Jimmy clipped the video?
Yeah, I think he posted on his Rush. Let's see. Let's look on the channel. I see in chats where people said he might put it on the channel, which would be
oh
basic.
wow. Okay. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, let's play it. Let's play it.
Well, no, that video is different. That one doesn't show the guest.
Okay, so Jimmy got Sabi's promotion video on the channel, which is great.
Oh, okay. Ashura asks, can you guys leave the link of the video you were showing the journalist in the description before the stream ends so I can check it out? Was that the one talking about the one talking about what's going on in Ukraine? That they showed that the journalists were lying? Is that what I think that's what she's referring to.
Oh yeah, I think Nick put it in, but it was
yeah, it was way up in the chat. Yeah, it was a while back. Yeah, put it in the chat.
I think I got
it.
You
mean the video from
sure.
From Representative Press? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, it's in the private chat. I'll put it in.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think so. Let's go to the promo video and we can wrap up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
I got it. Oh, you got it, or do you want me to do it?
I got it.
Okay.
Women's Summit is this weekend, guys. Don't forget Saturday and Sunday evening, 7 p.m. or 7:15 p.m. both nights. There's 2 panels on Saturday night and there's 2 panels on Sunday night. So I want to show you guys the guests that are coming on.
Sabi, is that 7:15 Eastern time or Pacific?
Oh yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
I won't be there. That's why.
Us East Coasters just assume, we think everybody's on the East Coast, even though we know they're not. Okay. So I'll go ahead and play the promo video for you guys so you can see who is coming to the summit. And one thing I want to say, and I said this on my channel too, you may not like everybody that's coming on to the summit. That's cool. That's not really what this is about. This is about women's issues. So we may not agree on all the political issues. I may not agree on the strategies, but this is something that all of us do have in common, and these issues do affect us all. So here we go.
Wow. This should be really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great show. And
whoop whoop. This weekend, guys.
Make sure you guys check that out. And hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Do we got any other super chats that came in that we should address?
Not that I know of.
Anything else, JB, you want to promote? Anything you got, JB?
I just want to say to any of, especially the men that are watching, by men, I use it universally among cis and trans men. Any men that's watching, make sure to watch the Women's Summit. We are going to be there to be allies and to support and sit back and listen. Because the thing is that people just don't listen. And that's the problem. And so, I'm going to be listening to what our sisters are saying. I hope you join me, all you guys out there, to listen, to what our sisters are saying, because it's deeply important, because they go through a lot in this country. And so I just want to make sure that we are supporting them as brothers and husbands and cousins and family member,
Right on, right on.
So hope you guys enjoy the stream. If you are new, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers before our 1-year anniversary. Roman House.
And by the way, I'll be covering the news on the JB show on Sunday, but on my channel next Tuesday, I'm going to have Brianna Joy Gray on my show next Tuesdays. On the JB Font show. So just be sure to tune in for that.
It's hype. So make sure you guys subscribe to JB Font's channel as well. Leave a like as well. And we have our Patreon if you want to support an independent channel. Take care, my comrades. Have a great night.
Smoke him if you got him.